Okay, so in this video I'm going to show you all the interiors on level 2 on the Simpsons Hit and Run. So last time around we did level 1, and that saw you play as Homer Simpson on Evergreen Terrace and the surrounding areas. This time you're playing as Bart in Springfield's Industrial District. Okay, so the first interior we're going to check out is Moe's Tavern. So you can enter here anytime you like in normal gameplay, and you can interact with various things such as that jar on the bar, also Moe himself behind the bar as well. And with some interiors on the game, you have sections that aren't really accessible, such as here, you can't get behind the bar. And there's also a little room towards the back where the toilets would be. Sounds exciting, I know.
Eat asphalt eaters!
But I'm just going to use the same technique as we did in the first video. So what I'm doing here is I'm using a cheat to be able to pass through walls. And you can achieve much the same thing by experimenting with the jumping cars cheat, which you can enter in normal gameplay without the use of a cheat disc. But this is just an easier way to be able to do it. Okay, so I've entered the out of bounds world now, and I'm going to drop down into Moe's Tavern. Now when you enter this interior in out of bounds, you can see that not all the characters load as they would have done when you entered the building normally. Moe's still in here, and you can still chat to him. But everyone like Barney and the other kind of usual locals in here don't load. You can still change costume as well by walking to that shirt with the $sign above it in the corner. And by dropping down in exactly the right place, you can actually get behind the bar, where you couldn't enter in normal gameplay. Sadly, there's not that much behind it though.
Word up, dude.
I don't have time to talk right now. My roids are very inflamed. Very.
Sadly, you don't seem to be able to get into that little room at the back where you can see here the toilet's located. Interestingly, there's only a men's toilet door, not a women's, indicating that everybody who visits here is male. Now if you remember from the show, it was where Moe actually kept a killer whale from SeaWorld. As you can see, there's not enough room to keep one behind here in this game. Another interior you can enter on this level is the DMV, where Patty and Selma work.
Whoa, that was the coolest!
It's quite a cool one to explore, because you've got the bus that's half crashed through the building, you've got this area here with Hans Moleman that you can't usually enter, and you also can't go behind the counter here, where Patty and Selma are. And additionally, there's space out front near to where the bus has crashed through that you can't normally access, but I'll show you that in a minute.
I don't feel like moving the line today.
First thing I'm just going to take a look at though, is where the bus has crashed through into the building. Even though you can see the front of the bus when you enter the interior, when you go inside the DMV in normal gameplay, obviously the interior doesn't actually exist where the building is. You can see that the bus isn't actually complete.
It's time for some road rage, Bart Simpson style. Oh, this is too cool for school.
Okay, so now let's go out of bounds and check the whole interior out. Now you might notice that I've switched vehicles here. That's because the first time I went out of bounds with the Honor Roller, my car spiraled out of control and I had to restart the level. So I tried it in a different car to see if it would be easier.
Oh, this is too cool for school.
Okay, so we've gone into it in Out of Bounds now, and as you can see, there's a lot less people here, just like in most Tavern. Only Patty's here. Selma hasn't loaded. And if we walk over to the right here, you'll see that Hans Mole Man isn't here either, so you can't perform the gag when you actually enter this interior in Out of Bounds. Now, one big advantage of exploring these interiors in the Out of Bounds world is that you can actually jump when you're inside the building. Usually, when you enter them in the real world, it doesn't let you jump. It actually prohibits you from doing it. So it's a really easy and handy way to actually explore the interior in full. So as you can see, the bus is a little bit more complete when you're actually in the interior. It's almost complete, it just doesn't really have a back. And you can see that what would be the outside behind the bus is just simply an image. They haven't bothered to actually load any kind of textures in really, but it just creates an interesting illusion. And by jumping again, you can also get behind the counter here, and you can explore what's here. Sadly, nothing much is solid because you were never meant to get round here, but it's still fun to explore. And you can also get above these ropes, but it doesn't really have much of a purpose. Oh well, time to change costume and move on to level 3. Thanks for watching.